I wanted to die. I think if I had a rope, I could have hung myself. I didn't have a gun, so I couldn't shoot myself. So I started masturbating at the age of 13, and I can't say this exactly what made me start, but being a virgin and my father, my mom, my parents being pastors, so to say, so that played its own toll on it, and I wasn't able to talk to a girl, so I just found myself doing that. I remember I was in JS2 then, in Federal Government College in Abuja, so that was, I think, the beginning point of it. I had issues with self-esteem, so I wouldn't really say I was introvert like that as at that point in time, but I was not really relating with friends. I had few friends, so most of my things I was doing them in shroud and secrecy and all that. So at a point in just 3 SS1, I started finding out that I was having issues with my academics. I won't say masturbating affected my academics, but that too was playing on its own side. Mathematics was the basic problem. I was always failing mathematics. So that started happening, the masturbation, being child of a pastor, and thinking that, am I going to make heaven at the end of the day with all of this? So by the time I got to SS3, it became a point where I'm going to not pass my WAEC because of mathematics. So I started thinking of GCE and all those other things. So thankfully, I passed the WAEC, not at a go. I wrote 5 exams, SSC, GCE in SS2, SSC, WAEC and ECO, then the other 2. So I passed that and I gained admission into the university. I remember then the year was 2008 when I finished secondary school. We were unable to enter the university because OOU, the school I was in, was having strike then. So my other colleagues who were in private university had started gaining admission. So for close to, not really a year, but close to a year, I was at home doing nothing. I remember I was playing real football on my handset then, and just whiling away time. So, but these things were happening, and in June 2009, yes, they called us that we can start resuming school. But at that point in time, I was already not really losing interest in school, but the thing was just there. So they told us that it was time for matric. The day we had to start matric, the infamous 2009 ASU strike came up, and we went home till December 2010. So there are still many more struggles, but that would be the starting point. Okay, I remember when I go back to school in 2010, we had to resume 100 level afresh, but they had to merge in a new set with us, those that were awaiting admission because of the long strike. So they called our own set JS1A, and they called those sets JS1B. We had already been receiving lectures, so they just merged them with us and we started. Now we had about 2 months to write the exam, and the first exam I was to write, GNS, I can't remember the course now, but the first GNS exam, I got to school early enough, and law students, you're always wearing white and black. That day, I just wore a random white shirt, not t-shirt like this, but white shirt, so as to, just do it. Our lectures weren't in law faculty, but they said we'll write the exam in law faculty. So I got there and they told us that we are not going to, that I cannot write the exam in that cloth I was wearing. So I had to go back home. I was living in Jebugbo. My school is in Agoiwoye. As at then, I don't know the time frame now, but as at then it was 1 hour drive from home to school. So I was thinking, if I go home and I come back, I'm not going to write this exam. And I'm a short person, small person. I cannot just easily get another clothes from someone else. Long story short, I went home, changed, got back to school 9:20. and they said I cannot write the exam, that I'm late for the exam. So that's how I had my first carryover in the university. So in my 100 level first semester, I had my first carryover. Now, as at my 500 level, I had 7 carryovers. I won't say maybe I was academically poor, but these different issues that were happening in my life, I had mentioned masturbation, I had mentioned the religious thing with my parents or family. Not really my parents per se problem, but I was having those struggles. So in my 500, I was also an executive in my fellowship. I was the general secretary in my fellowship. And I should say at some point between the 100 level and 500 level, I was, being fervent with God and everything. I was expecting and hoping that God would just miraculously do something with my academics. And by the time I see my results, the carryovers had gone. So 200, maybe 1 or 2, 300, but as a 500, it was now 7 carryovers. So it meant I was not going to go to law school with my colleagues, and I would have an extra year. Extra year is something that had been, how will I put it? I don't know whether it was going to happen or not, but it's something that we do hear and see. So when it dawned on me that I'm going to have an extra year, I think that was the beginning point of a second beginning point of my mental health struggle. I didn't know how to tell my parents. I didn't know how to tell my dad. I had struggles with my dad because I was scared of him. We didn't have a good relationship. So my mom was like the person who helps to manage the situation between myself and my dad. And now seeing that I've failed 7 courses. In fact, my 500 level, people write, if you don't have any carryover, it is 4 courses you are writing. So I was writing 11. So not just 4, it was 11 I was writing. And add in context the fact that there's a limit to what you can register in maybe semester. I can't remember some things now, but that was happening. So I remember I went back to the school. They called me that result is out. And I said, is there any reference? They said that there are some references. So I got to the school, I saw it 7. My faculty officer was saying that I was not going to, that I have to sit back. Seeing those results, it was just barely 1 or 2 weeks to writing exam of a new semester or a new academic session. So my mom said I should come home to tell my dad about the carryover. I didn't know how to tell him. My dad was in the hospital. We don't really fall sick like that in my family, but God just so happened to be that my dad was in the hospital admission at that point in time. And I was scared. If he hears that I have 7 carryover, is this not what is now going to cause stroke? And he passed on. So he told me that Wale Soyinka had a 3rd class in the university, and so at that point in time I had a 3rd class, so that if we pay the school fees, I'll go back to school, write the 7 carryovers and all. And I did that. Thankfully, I passed all what I'd been failing from 100 level, because at every level, 200, 300, 400, 500, I was always having 1 carryover course. In fact, when I wrote those 7 carryover courses, they still told me that I failed 1 more again. And I remember when I was, during those 7 carryover courses, that was also the time I was having issues with my then girlfriend. So I just had to cut that off, write all the exams. Thankfully, I passed it and I became a lawyer. So when I had the first bout, in a way, there was nothing serious to it for me, because I just used God, Bible, and all that to overcome it. But I remember this day, and as I'm talking, I'm even trying to picture it in the year 2020. I was already done with everything then. I was sitting, my dad called me to his room. My mom was there, my brothers were there. I had issue with my immediate younger brother because I wanted to apply for Tunelumili Foundation. the grant, and we had issues. So my dad was just talking about how I was rude to my mom, everything. I had things I was struggling with. My life wasn't there, and I just wanted to focus on this thing. I didn't have a job then. And here he was talking, saying everything. He opened to the Bible, saying different things about how parents had to obey their children. And when he finished talking, he said he was going to send me out of the house, that nobody is going to beg him. I didn't care whatsoever he was saying. Like I was dead, literally. And he finished talking that he would send me out of the house. I was ready. I didn't care. I wasn't ready to apologize or anything because, man, in a way, this is my life. But if you want to kill me, kill me. I'd given up on everything. So when it was done, I hated every single person. Went back to my room. It was not even my room I went to. It was my same brother's room that I hated that I went to. More like you're staring the devil in the face. And like, you say I stab you or you stab me. Not stab, but I checked my phone, trying to see who I could talk to online. I don't really talk to people, but I just wanted to see. And as much as I wanted to talk to someone, at the same time, I was like, if they ask me what happened, what exactly am I going to say? So I didn't want to talk to anybody. The following day, I just took a bag, earpiece, my phone, power bank, with handkerchief, that I wanted to leave the house. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go to. I just wanted to leave the house. I wanted to die. I think if I had a rope, I could have hung myself. I didn't have a gun, so I couldn't shoot myself, but I was also thinking, just walk to the road, trailer hits me, and I'm gone, and everything ends. That was it. So I've overcome the struggle, yes. But one of the things I always say is that I don't want to get married. I don't wish to get married. I don't want to get married. The few times I talk about it, and at the same time, I don't go to church. My parents are still pastors. They are alive. Not just pastors, they are reverends in Pentecostal church. I still live with them. So it's very interesting to say. And every Sunday, they go out. I'm the only one that stay at home. So that's an experience. And I don't want to get married. I don't enjoy it. Not like there's anything, but that's the kind of life I want to live. I would have my child. Whether they call it baby mama or whatsoever, I would have my child. But I don't want to get married. So there's that. Then I'm a lawyer. Thankfully, I have a job now. It took close to 5-6 years post-call before I had a job. But I have a job now. But honestly, if you would ask me, I can't really say I'm enjoying practicing as a lawyer. I want to do something else. It is not that someone is stopping me from doing, but I need the money to do what I want to do. So there are days when I don't have this enthusiasm to go to work. And sometimes I will just think, if I don't go to work, will they sack me? So, I mean, there are so many other societal struggles, but this could be the one I can enjoy talking about. Okay, I enjoyed this part. That's what made me, okay, I should say again, my name is PaGidi's, and I have a foundation called PaGidi's Expressions. So how it started was that when all these things were happening, I couldn't talk to anyone about it. And the thoughts or ideas I had in my head, so I limited everything into writing. So, and that's how PaGidi's Expressions began. Writing my thoughts, expressing the way I feel, and just doing them. So, yes, I wouldn't want to talk to anyone about these things. Who do you want to talk to about that you're masturbating? Or who do you want to talk to about that you want to have sex with someone, but you don't? I mean, different things that to someone else, they'll call it stupid. So writing was the thing I was doing. Writing is what helped me. If you asked me this question 2-3 years ago, I don't know. I might just say, am I still going to commit suicide? The thought is not fully there, because what stopped me from killing myself then was that I thought of it. If I die, how am I going to achieve these things that I have beautiful ideas? So if I die, it's all gone. How am I going to achieve them? So the struggle is still there, but what pushes me is that other struggle I have to just keep going. That thing, it's there. So because of that, no matter what this mental health struggle I face, I damned it. First of all, I would say, if you kill yourself, you are dead, you are gone. Your stories are valid, your life is valid, the way you feel, no matter how much you hate yourself, is very, very valid. But the beautiful question still is that when you kill yourself or when you die, it's all dead, it's all gone. So rather than killing yourself, convert all those your terrible stories, your terrible life, your tragedy, everything, convert it to something that is going to make money for you. I think when you have money, some people, they have money and they are still depressed. But when you have money, you are better able to manage things. Read books, write about your story. I wrote about my story with the book, Dearest Suicide. It's 5 books. Every single part that I think or feel, even talking about it here to you might be an issue, I converted everything to a book. And I wrote in such a way that you reading it, you would see that it's not fiction, it's actually my life, and my life is being played in your life as well. So read stories, try to go out, don't limit yourself. Your parents might be your issues, family might be your issues, religion might be your issues. Choose your life. I think if you are dead, you are dead. So just choose your life. Choose exactly what you want to do. There are so many people out there, Burna Boy, Portable. People are actually crazy, mad people doing great things. You can be one of them.